mixed because we had the war during my childhood. Obviously, we had the war, which made a big difference to our lives for a time. And of course, I had a younger brother and sister, which always makes a lot of difference to how you are as a person and how you spend your life. You know. And I was pretty well behaved, I think, you know, and I could speak quite early, talk quite early. But then I had this younger brother and sister coming along, so that made quite a lot of difference to me. But I don't remember it as making it very unhappy. But it just meant that there were three of us doing everything for a time. But
and were you close with them?
I can remember when my brother and sister were both born, and I remember coming in and there was this baby in the cot.
Oh, really?
That was my sister. She was 4 years younger than me. And when my brother came, he was brought. Well, they told me he was brought in by the midwife, which wasn't true.
Right.
But I was just intrigued by them. I don't think they upset me terribly. I was intrigued by it. And, there were times, I think, when I probably had my nose put out of joint a bit because if you've got a younger brother and sister, they get a lot of attention. But on the whole, I think I was fairly happy. I was shy with anyone I didn't know, but otherwise, I don't think it was right. I went to school when I was 5, and that I found quite difficult at first. I was quite shy, but wasn't too bad. And then
what were your friends like at school?
I had several friends I got on well with. I had a cousin at school who was about almost the same age as I was. And we used to get on well, and I can remember things like my grandfather coming to visit, and he took me to school one morning.
Oh, really?
And when I got there, I found he hadn't dressed me properly and I got no knickers on.
No shock.
That was absolutely devastating. I went around holding my skirts around all day. I couldn't go home till about 4 o'clock, so I remember that very well.
That was so weird.
But and then of course the war came. We were evacuated. So that made a big difference to our lives. So we went to my father's school. We went to Sussex first, and very different sort of life for a long time then.
How old were
Sussex,
you?
and then we went to Cornwall
Oh, Cornwall.
with relatives, you know. So, but and then no, before that we were all called up. The schools were called up, and we went with my father's school. We went up to London, went by train down to Cornwall, and we were all down in Cornwall for quite a time.
Like a few years.
It was. I didn't mind that. I quite liked that. You know, it was a bit strange because you had to suddenly make new friends all the time. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
And then I went to school in Newquay in Cornwall, where my mother had gone to school.
Really?
And the headmistress there, the teacher used to teach her. You know, so that was very strange. But it was fine, except that because I was an evacuee, you were looked on as being something different, you know. There were most of the girls I was with were local girls, you know, Cornish girls. So that was a bit strange at first, but it was all right. And then, what else?
So were you in the town of Cornwall?
Sorry?
Were you in like the town bit of
We were
Cornwall?
in Newquay.
That's not by the sea. That's not by the sea.
Well, it's just near the sea. We was only after being little, we got a flat near the sea.
Sorry, just Scooby's still outside, isn't he?
Oh dear, can you get him in, please?
Yeah.
Dear.
Oh, that's really...
Disappeared down a hole somewhere probably. No, it was just strange, you know, that you were with a whole lot of different people you hadn't known before.
Yeah.
And I remember vividly travelling down by train when we first left Croydon to go down to Cornwall. We all had gas masks on in little bag things, and a package with sandwiches in, and labels on us to say who we were, who our parents were, and then we all travelled by train all the way down to Cornwall. And we stayed with relatives at first, and then later moved with up to other relatives. But it was an adventure, and although some of it was quite hard, we you get to know different people in different areas and things. But, when we first moved down, we went to Wales, where we were with a whole lot of people who didn't speak English at all.
Oh, wow.
And that was really strange.
Yeah.
And the village we were in had no electricity, no normal electricity in the houses or things. So, and all the toilets were at the bottom of the garden and that sort of thing. It was much more primitive than where we'd been in Croydon. But the people were friendly. We arrived late at night in a bus, a coach, all of these families, and were paraded round this hall. And the local Welsh women were there. There was their shawls. This is when we were in Wales, not Cornwall. And their shawls round their heads and shoulders, and all looking at all of us, families and children, talking in Welsh, of course. We didn't know what they were saying. And we were there till we were left to last because there were 5 of us, because you can understand that. And then eventually at the end, one woman and her husband came up and they looked at each other and talked to each other and said, well, we could do it. She said, if we just had our baby in our room for the time, you could have his room and then we could manage it, which was really kind of them. Because, it was late at night, we were 3 of us, 3 children, were really tired. So that was nice, and we went to this place where it was a nice place. I just remember we had things like a big bathtub by the fire, and it was much more primitive than we were used to in Croydon, but very nice. And they had a big dog. Nice. And then we used to share. Our school was there from Croydon, and then there was a village school, and we used to share in the mornings. One week we would have the village hall, and they would go for walks, and we'd do it the other way around the next week, or in the afternoon. So we all had different ways we fitted in quite well. It worked very well. And my father was involved in organising these things.
He was a teacher.
And it was an interesting experience, but they did all speak Welsh in the village. Nobody spoke English, which was
Did you learn any Welsh?
very strange. And North Star was the only one I remember that was good night.
North Star.
But and then there was a lovely beach nearby, Scots Bay, that we used to go down to have picnics on. That was very nice. And then we had a big garden called Monnick's Garden that was a commercial enterprise, but we, as a school, we went there and helped do things in it. So we did garden weeding and things in this big place. So it was all a very different life from where we'd been in Croydon. Very different.
How old were you then?
I was 6.
6.
So quite young.
Yeah.
And then we went. We started off in Cornwall, where my uncle lived, and then we moved up to Croydon, where my grandmother lived, and then eventually we got a flat near not Croydon, Crawley, Pentyre, and then we got a flat near there. So we had a flat of our own, which was much nicer than sharing, because my grandparents they had 5. There were 5 in the house. 1, 2, 3, 6 in the house. So 3 of us as well was too much. So it was quite nice when we had a place of our own. But I've got lots of very mixed memories. It was very different. I mean, we'd not been used to this sort of life at all. And things like we used to go up onto the headland near where our flat was near Newquay. We used to go up on the headland, and there'd be American soldiers there with jeeps.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They were on duty there for some, I don't know why. And we children evacuees all learnt to go up and say, "Got any gum, chum?"
Really? Gum chum?
Really cheeky.
Oh, did they react nicely?
They would just laugh. They laughed at us. I don't think they gave us gum, but I mean, they just laughed at us.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was lovely. I mean, it's lovely countryside out there, the hillside. The headland is lovely. But so that was one thing. And then one of the other things was we used to go to the cinema sometimes, and you'd have to ask somebody to take you in if it was an A film.
Oh, really?
That was a bit. We shouldn't have done that really, but we did. It was a bit daft, but we were all right. We were lucky, but okay. But and we got to know some of the local evacuees as well. And they were they'd come from a Cockney part of London, so a very different background. Yes.
Do you have another torch?
I don't know why you broke that one.
It doesn't work. The batteries obviously run out. But
Have a look on the stairs. See if there are any batteries under the stairs.
I couldn't see any. There's not one upstairs. You don't have another one upstairs.
There might be one in the bedroom, John.
And is the light on the outside?
Yeah.
Does it come on at some point?
Which one are you talking about?
On the outside of the back.
The back. If you turn the switch on in the lobby.
The lobby. He's not responding. I hope he hasn't. Does he sometimes do that?
I can have a look.
Well, sorry, you sit there.
No, it's all right. No, let me have a look.
Read out. Try turn off the thing for a bit.
Yeah, so
How do you say that?
So you just